Get started just a second, everybody. There we go. All right, everybody. Well, hey, hope we are rocking and rolling this Monday night. I want to thank you all for joining us. Obviously, rocking and rolling, kicking butt and taking names. I don't know about you guys, but Monday has been a very, very busy day. I want to thank all of you joining us for Note Night in America. For those that are joining us for the first time here on these, we do these every Monday night on different topics. We have a variety of things that we'll get into. Hopefully, you're here to learn how to earn immediate income. That's the topic for tonight. I'll introduce our guest speaker here in a little bit, but before we do that, a lot of people always ask, hey, what's up with these Monday notes? What's on these things? So we had over 300 people RSVP for the webinar tonight. So as I see you guys trickling in here, getting in here on a Monday evening as you're getting off of work, we're excited to have you. But we have a variety of people that join us every Monday night. We have people that are real estate investors that are looking to dive into notes. We do have a lot of note investors, since that's what I kind of focus on and what these calls and coaching calls are designed for, along with people that are looking to get into notes. Hey, maybe I want to invest some money. Maybe I want to joint venture with somebody. Hey, I heard about that cookie note thing from a buddy of mine. Tell me more. And that's what the Monday notes are all about for Monday night. These calls are recorded, so if you got to bug out after an hour, don't worry about it. We've got them recorded here. They'll be live via replay tomorrow afternoon. We are Facebook live streaming this as well, so who knows how many extra people will be watching it from there. You can always catch the replays by just going to WeCloseNotes.com and catching us and clicking on the YouTube link, or you can go directly to Vimeo.com and watch the download there. While you're there, also make sure you check out the Nationwide Note Closers Facebook page out there. It's about 1,500 note investors from all across the country. But as always, guys, I ask you all to connect with us online. You can always find me at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at @OneScottCarson, or you can see our hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube or Vimeo at WeCloseNotes on there, if you look for that handle. Now, we just wrapped up an amazing event this last Thursday through Sunday. We had a total of 760 people sign up for Note Camp 3.0, largest event I've ever done. Really excited about that. Literally at almost double of what we did 6 months ago with it. Out of the 716, we had over 600 people attend a session of some sort, which I'm just totally blown away with. Last time we had 350 people attend, so attend a session. So doing very well with that. We had people in 35 states. We had people from all across the world in 6 different countries. Australia, Peter O'Donnell from Australia. We had people from England, South Africa, some friends north of the border. We had people over in Israel. We also had a couple people from the Czech Republic take notice. So we mapped everybody that filled out a survey to let us know a little bit more so where they're at, and that's kind of the map of the United States attendees. You can see basically pretty much all across the country for the most part, which is exciting. I love that because when you see deals all across the country, it builds a great network. Now, one of the things that we always do at Note Camp, and I always like to share with people, is our investor survey that we do. And we had almost a 30% of those that attended, actually that signed up for Note Camp, actually filled it out. So we're at 33% of those that actually attended actually did fill out the survey. And we always love sharing the information that comes from that. So yes, while a lot of people's minds are blown, you're going to crack up at some of these results. Well, I may not crack up, find it interesting like I do. So one of the things we ask people is, hey, do you have a self-directed IRA? And 58% of those that answered said they have a self-directed IRA. And out of those 58%, 41% are with Quest IRA, 32% are with others, whether it's Kingdom Trust, New View, We had 19% are with equity trust. All right. So it tells you that a lot of private money out there to be invested. All right. When we asked their primary focus, 43% of those that surveyed said they were interested in non-performing notes. 16% were looking for performing notes, and 14% were looking for owner financing or owner finance notes, which I think you'll find interesting tonight. Some more stats from the event. The biggest goal came down to basically two things. 61% of people wanted to close more deals this year, or close their first deal, anywhere from 1 deal to 100 deals. And then 25% of those surveys said they wanted to either retire themselves or their spouse from their JOB, which that really doesn't surprise me. We asked people how many deals did they close, and 45% of people that responded have closed on a deal in the last 12 months. Out of those that had closed on deals, they'd averaged a number of 29 notes in the last 12 months, so 29 deals that they closed on in the last 12 months, and they all averaged out, those that closed deals, 172 total notes in their note investing career, which I found very valuable because it's a lot of doers out there, a lot of movers and shakers. The topics they were all looking for when coming to Note Camp was education, looking for deals, actually product, looking for product, networking, and raising capital or funding were all right at 15, 16%, which I found that interesting. On a virtual event, 15% of the people were looking to network, which I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that as well. The education part, that's pretty easy to figure out. But as far as networking, raising capital or capital funding, and looking for deals, it all basically averaged out the same. And then out of those, we asked people, hey, are you interested in possibly joint venturing with somebody? And the numbers on that, 46% of people said yes, 42% said maybe, and only 12% said no. So for those of you that are always worried about, oh, there's not any money out there, heck, there's plenty of private money and plenty of people willing to work with you if you find good deals. So any questions about any of those stats, numbers out there? There's a little bit more stuff that we're diving into that we're breaking down. We just didn't get a chance to break it down because we collected so much information from everybody, and literally pretty jacked up at the event. Just a lot of great feedback, all the social media posts out there, and great stuff out there. Any questions, comments regarding any of the stuff before we dive into the main event here tonight? Yes, we're using a little bit different system with the Monday notes. If this is your first time in a couple weeks, you're able to actually ask a Q&A, which we can see, or you can jump on the chat roll and chat as well. So you got two different opportunities to ask questions and network here, everybody. So, all right, let's dive into, oh, my thing didn't work. Oh, hilarious here. So let me, well, let me tell a little story about this guy. A little story first and foremost before we dive into this tonight. I'm excited to have Lou Brown on tonight. And when you actually search Lou Brown, you come across the guy, the head coach from from the Indians movie, Major League, which kind of cracked up. I know I'm not alone for Lou's, but when I looked for his picture earlier, pull it up, I got the one in red here, but it also pulled up the manager from Major League, which I found kind of humorous. But Lou's been a real estate investor since the age of 19, which is only about 10 years then. I'm just joking. But done a lot of amazing stuff. Actually, I met Lou back about 10 years ago. And Lou may not remember this, but Lou was actually speaking, came in and spoke for a day, I think in Austin. Maybe it was Atlanta. I don't remember exactly where, at a Bob Leonardi and Jamie Kalo event years ago. And I used to work for Bob and Jamie, and got a chance to meet him there. Heard him basically start using the hell yeah, baby, the first time.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, exactly. And known him ever since. He was actually moving around on crutches then because he had just tore his ACL at an event. And but we're excited to have him here. Lou really knows his business, and anybody that's been in the business for a couple decades, you got to respect the business model and exactly what they're doing. But I love the fact that anytime you talk with a student of his, nothing but great things to say about you, Lou. So we're excited to have you. You are the creator of the Certified Affordable Housing Program out there that's buying hundreds of houses every month all across the country. And so really, really glad to have you. Thanks for joining us from LAX or LA tonight, I guess, huh?
I was in LA yesterday. I came in like, dark 30 this morning.
So you're back home in Atlanta then, huh? Is that
I'm
correct?
back home in Atlanta now.
Nice.
That's why my voice is a little bit raspy from all that travel in the last couple of days.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel. That's a lot of turnaround travel, brother. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and now you can basically click on the share screen thing on your control panel now for you.
Okay. All right. Let's see here if I can get this right. And
You're good. You did it earlier.
You can see it?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. All righty then. How about that one? Okay. Now.
No, I don't see it yet.
Share screen.
Share screen.
And then
you see your PowerPoint and the icon there?
This one up. I can see it on my screen.
That's okay.
Let's see here.
So when you hit share screen, what pops up? You should see some icons.
Yep.
There we go. Now we should be getting ready to see it here in a second.
Now.
There we go.
What if we do that?
You just got to put it in presentation now. Presentation mode now, baby.
It's getting there sooner or later.
How about that's that? All right. There we go.
Baby. Yeah, now
baby.
We're
talking. Now we're cooking with Crisco.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me, man. This is really a pleasure to be able to talk with your group. I am a big believer in notes. I'm a big believer in investing. And, one of the things about notes is that you can have a lot of control with your life, and you can have a lot of control of your life. So I'm excited to share with all of you tonight about some things that we do in our business that's a little bit different than note buying. We actually are note creators, and we create our own notes for our business. And it's very profitable, very exciting. So I'm going to kind of let you see a bit of my world tonight and get a little bit of excitement around who we are, what we do, and how we change other people's lives. Scott, ring.
That's cash, baby. If you're in the paper game, we're making money. It don't matter if you're creating or buying, we're making money in the paper game.
It's a beautiful thing, baby. It's a beautiful thing. So this is, as Scott was sharing, you were sharing that this is actually my 40th year now in real estate, buying, selling, and holding real estate. I put my first property under contract when I was 18 years old. Right after that, right after my birthday, I closed on that house, and I'm going to share that with you tonight too, and then just show you the progression of what's happened in my world since then.
Wow, nice.
All right, so take off and run, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I just encourage everybody to get in a quiet place, kiss the spouse and kids and dogs and cats goodnight, turn off the TV, put the cell phone away, close your email and other distractions on your computer. Get ready to take a lot of notes. I've got a lot of valuable information that I think is going to change what you're doing. I've even got it built in tonight, talk about the paradigm shift versus what you're doing and what we're doing. There's a lot of folks, as Scott shared with you, a lot of known names in the industry that have sat in seats. They got started, just as Scott was talking about 10 years ago. He got to hear me make a presentation and went, aha, yeah, baby, that's a good thing. And we've got some great folks that have joined us over the years, probably folks that you've been to their boot camps or you've been to their trainings, and they've taught you an aspect of the business, and they left me to teach you the business of the business. So our big thing in our world is to buy, sell, and hold properties. We buy them right, we buy them cheap, but we also hold them long term. And we call it selling while holding and holding while selling. So you're going to be able to see why they call me the nation's leading expert on buying, selling, and holding property the most profitable way, because I'm a big believer in a thing called profit centers. And so I'm going to share with you some of those profit centers tonight that I think will make a difference in your business. A lot of people that invest in notes also invest in real estate, and they own many properties and manage those properties. Maybe they self-manage, maybe they hire other managers. And so we've learned some things about how to maximize those profits. I've been on all kinds of stages. Mark Victor Hansen, Susie Orman, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, Dan Kennedy, Bill Gates, and yes, even our illustrious president, Donald Trump, I've shared this stage with. So it's kind of exciting with times that we're in right now to actually have a real estate investor in the White House. We'll see what that ends up looking like, but at least we get to be entertained for a while, I think. So I just encourage you to get in a quiet place and listen to what I have to share tonight. Now, we are going to be giving away 2 tickets to my upcoming Millionaire Jumpstart training, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia, May 5th, 6th, and 7th. And if you can't make those dates, no worries. We've got future dates as well. But we wanted to just give you an opportunity to kind of get an overview tonight of some amazing things. Yeah, baby. If you're going to give stuff away, it's a beautiful thing. And we are going to work together tonight in kind of having you look at the existing business that you have and then what you want to do with it. Give you a little bit of background. I have been working in our industry for many years. I was the vice president and president of the Real Estate Leadership Association of America. Then I took that organization in 1993 and I transformed it into National RIA. You may have heard of National RIA. And I was the founding president of National RIA and 5-year board member there. Also president emeritus of the Georgia Real Estate Investors Association, 9-year board member there, and chairman of the Small Owners Council. Now, a couple of things that you'll find interesting about this is that that not only were these volunteer positions that I did in the great industry that we're in, but they were also 501c3 nonprofit organizations. And one thing I learned about nonprofit organization is there's nothing nonprofit about a nonprofit. And so nonprofits have to make a profit in order to stay in business. They have to have income. So we learned some valuable things that nonprofits can contract with for-profits. So you're going to see a way tonight how your business can tie in with some great things that are happening out there in the world as well. So this is me when I was just a few years ago, when I was the president of Georgia RIA at one of our outings. And here we are with my mom. Now, my mom was a, God rest her soul, wonderful person on the planet. She taught me about volunteering. She came over to this country as a war bride on the Queen Mary from Scotland. You know, during World War II, it was an exciting time, no doubt. And she came over, met her American trooper, love of her life, ended up not working out. He was an abuser, he was an alcoholic, and she had to get rid of him. So then she met my father, her second mistake. So she just ended up saying, this is not going to work out. So it ended up just being the two of us. And we had some really great times together, but we had some very trying times because I had no money. In fact, these are the apartments that I was raised in until I was 17 years old. And just imagine that air conditioning unit right there was put in our apartment. We didn't even have air conditioning. It was put in a year before I moved out. So we had quite an experience. This is me in one of my mother's disposable cars. If it cost too much to fix the car, then to just go get another one on pavements, she would just go get another car. But you can see how poor we were. Even our tires didn't match. So we had a black wall here and a white wall here. So I know what it's like to, you know, be in a challenging place in life. In fact, our dining table was a Samsonite card table. If you remember those, not as nice as this one, with the 4 metal chairs. And that was our dining table until I was 17 years old. And we bought that with S&H green stamps. In fact, this is how we furnished our apartment, was by making up these books. It was my job to lick and stick and put all those stamps in there and get those books ready so we could go get more furniture for our apartment. And it was just challenging times. And sometimes the rent man would come and knocking at the door, and my mother would say, shh, don't answer the door, don't answer the door. And I say, why? And she said, because we don't have the money to pay the rent right now. And she says, I'm going to have it on Friday, but I just don't want to answer the door right now. So she couldn't even face them to say, look, I don't have the money. And she would just take it in when she did have the money. So I know what it's like to kind of be on the other side and not have comfort in life, and always be challenged about money and where the money was going to come from. But I had the great fortune of meeting my mom's friends. And since I didn't have any grandparents, no brothers, no sisters, no cousins, no uncles, no aunts, no cousins, nobody in this country, then my mom's friends became my aunts and uncles, even though they weren't relatives. And this was Aunt Mabel and Uncle George. And this is such a great story because Aunt Mabel told me something at the age of 8 years old that changed my life. And Aunt Mabel said, hey, we just bought the duplex that we live in. Now, in fact, it's that duplex right there. I went back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was born and raised, and took a picture of the duplex. It's still there, by the way, baby. It's still there. I gotta love rental property. Gotta love rental property. And she bought that duplex, and she told me that the people on one side were paying enough money in rent to cover the mortgage. And that said, of course, that she was living for free. Now, here we were hiding out for the rent man, and here's Aunt Mabel living for free. And that caught my imagination. Of course, as a kid, I was very intrigued by that conversation. And then the next year, she said, well, we bought the duplex next door. And sure enough, she said that the people on one side paid enough money in rent to cover the mortgage, and the other money was theirs. And I said, oh, this is cool. And then, of course, she bought another and another and another and another. And she bought two more. I mean, talk about target marketing. All of them were on the same street. So management was not an issue. They could just literally walk to their property and take care of any issues. And of course, people could bring them their money. So it was fun. But Aunt Mabel started to change in her lifestyle because she started getting a new Cadillac every other year. And Aunt Mabel didn't like to cook, so she was cooking out, or she was eating out rather, at the nice steakhouse every night. And they just had a nice life. And then one day she called me. She says, hey, come on over here and help me move. And I said, move where? She said, a brand new house in a brand new subdivision, all brick home on a corner lot. And I said, oh, this is too cool for words. So we ended up watching Aunt Mabel and Uncle George just have an amazing life. And she had these two Chihuahuas. She used to bring home all this steak from the steakhouse for these Chihuahuas. I said, Aunt Mabel, bow wow, baby. Bring me some of that steak. I'll be one of your Chihuahuas. But, it just said to me something amazing. And I said, Aunt Mabel, how did you do this? How did you get this new house? And such a great life. And she said two words that changed my life. She said, accumulate property. Write that down, folks. Accumulate property. Because when you do, you can have amazing life and amazing income. And another way of saying that maybe is accumulate notes, because you definitely have residual income streams coming in ongoing and nonstop. Now, I'm sharing this as a background because I want you to see what evolved in my life over doing exactly that. Because Aunt Mabel says to me at 18 years old now, she says, you need to buy a house. And actually, Aunt Mabel had a speech about it. He talked like this. So when he talked, you had to listen, because if you didn't listen, you didn't understand what she was saying. And she saying, you need to buy a house. And I said, okay. And I said, but Aunt Mabel, you go to banks and qualify for loans. I said, I can't qualify my way out of a paper bag. What are you talking about? And she said, oh, no. She says, you can do it. And she said, but you need to meet my friend, Realtor Sue. Well, sure enough, here comes this blue-haired realtor lady who came up and took me around looking at properties like I was going to buy a house or something, right? And she took me and drove me around. And it was so cool because I actually put a contract on a property. And in fact, this is the house in Charlotte, North Carolina. Went back a couple of years ago, took a picture amazingly, it looks exactly like it did 30 years before. And it was so neat. But I got bribed by the company I was with, because see, back then you could do something called NENQ loans, non-escalating, non-qualifying loans. But then they took that away from us, and they said, no, you know, Congress, you just got to know that everybody in Congress is bought. It doesn't really matter which side they're on, they're bought and paid for. And of course, the banks are one of the most powerful lobbies out there. And so they got two senators named Garn and St. Germain to pass a law called the Garn-St. Germain Federal Depository Institutions Act of 1982. And in that act, they took away something that allowed me to buy this house. You see, what I could do back then, they had a thing called NENQ loans, non-escalating, non-qualifying loans. Very powerful, wonderful way. How many of you wish you had the opportunity to just be able to do that? For $45, I was able to take over the existing loan on this property. It was awesome. But then they passed that law and said you can't do that anymore. Well, I read the law, and I actually discovered that there's exceptions to that law. And one of the exceptions is when you place your property in trust for estate planning purposes, the lender is prohibited from calling the loan due. So I got very interested in trusts, and I actually began learning about trusts in about 1984. And I learned over the years, and then developed paperwork for the thing called trusts. In fact, I even wrote a whole system on the topic of trusts, because trust is a good thing, baby. And what I found out is that I could buy properties, I could buy them right, I could buy them cheap, and especially if I could take over the existing financing. Now, we're going to have a training. It's called Millionaire Jumpstart. You're going to come to that, and I'm going to teach you a lot more about a thing called trusts, because you need to have this in every part of your life. You need to have your stocks, bonds, mutual funds in trust. You need to have your bank account in trust. You need to have your real estate in trust, and think called land trust. Your vehicles, everything in your life needs to be in trust. And when you've got the right paperwork, you can actually do it yourself. You don't have to spend a fortune like most attorneys would charge you to do a trust or trusts. And I teach you to put each property in its own trust. So that gives you a little bit of background, because this house, the company I was with bribed me. They basically said, we're going to pay your closing costs if you'll move to Atlanta, Georgia. You can sell this house and you can move to Atlanta. Well, my mom was my first tenant, and I actually had her move in, and I said, Mom, if you can pay me $100 a month. Our rent at the time was $600 a month. I said, if you can pay me $100 a month, you take the other money and put it towards your debt. You see, because my mom didn't understand about money. She didn't understand about finances. And what happened was she ended up owing a lot of people a lot of money, and it was not a pretty thing. And what happened was she ended up refinancing her debt. That's why we could never buy a house, because she had such debt and she was carrying such a load. Well, what happened was that she was able within a year and a half to take that extra income, put it towards her debt, and be free and clear for the rest of her life. So it was a wonderful thing, and I was really blessed that I could bring that to her after all that she did for me and all the sacrifices that she did for me while I was growing up, and basically putting her life on hold to take care of me and raise me. And it was a great relationship, and kind of we raised each other. But the challenge was, of course, I didn't have a father. I didn't have all the other traditional family situations, but I learned a lot from this. So in this example, my house, I actually sold that house because the company said, we'll pay your closing costs when you sell, and we'll pay your closing costs when you buy another house in Atlanta. So that bribed me to buy another property, which is good. But I had to, unfortunately, I lost this property. And I recently did some calculating, and oh my goodness, the money I would have made if I had kept this property. And so that's why I say accumulate property is a powerful thing, because you know, you can see that the houses just don't go away. In fact, I went there, and there I am in front of the property. It's still there. It's a wonderful thing. So I was very blessed with having my mom and having the opportunity to do some things, because it really doesn't matter what your background or credit status or current status is. You deserve what you want. And I always encourage people, make a list of what you want. You know, if you want fancy cars, if you want uh, beautiful homes, I've got a beautiful home. I've got great life, just great life. You know, we love to travel. We've been all over the world together as a family. You know, this is Yosemite. You got to put that on your list. This is my wife, Janice, and we got to see the wonderful snow caps melting in Yosemite, and we got to see Glacier Point, and we got to see the bears. I mean, that's not a cage, guys. Those are live bears walking through the national parks. But put the national parks on your list. Excuse me. And all the other opportunities, because we have been all over the world together as a family. We've been to Egypt and Israel, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Turkey, Greece, Australia, New Zealand, and it's just been a fantastic life for myself. I've got 3 children, you know, and you know, 2 of them natural and 1 foster daughter, and we've just had an amazing experience together. So, you know, I say that God created an amazing world. The only problem is he didn't put it all in one place. So you got to be able to see and experience the world out there, because it's really quite exciting and there's so much to do. So once you've got your goals, because I'm going to encourage you to do 2 things. I want you to get a big number that's going to pay for those wonderful things that you want to buy. And I also want you to get a monthly number, what it's going to cost to operate those things and own those things, and your life too. So when you get that number, then we can go create something amazing together. Now, my wife and I, we've been together 35 years. And it's just a phenomenal relationship. Janice is amazing, and she works with me in my business. She actually does our property management and our intake. Now, you're going to learn about something tonight about how we fill those properties in a very unique way. So you need a plan to get what you want in life. And I always like to use the Monopoly game as an example, because everybody's played Monopoly before. And I used to drive my friends crazy. But one of the things I loved about Monopoly is that everybody begins at the same place. So regardless of your background and what your credit report looks like or anything else, the amount of money in the bank, you start at go. Everybody starts at the same place. But in order to get off a go, what do? You got to roll the dice and take a chance. And that's the challenge that most people have in this business. Whether you're investing in notes, whether you're investing in real estate, whatever it is, most people are fearful that they're going to make a mistake that's going to cost them. Now, maybe you're one of those folks that has that fear that you're going to make a bad mistake and lose everything you've already made. And a lot of people do. Well, so what we're going to do is actually discover how to get rid of those fears that are stopping you. Because lose everything is the biggest fear that people have in real estate, and actually engaging in this world that we have now 40 years in here. I can tell you there's some wonderful things that I've learned, and boy, do I wish somebody had told me this stuff in the beginning. So what we're going to do now is something totally unique to perhaps what you've been thinking about how to make money in this wonderful game called real estate. Ask yourself, do you have a proven money-making business model? Well, let's take a look at what is the game out there. What does it look like? Well, the housing market is huge. There's over 133 million housing units. So there's plenty for us to buy. Now, only in America, 64.9%. No, wait, the new numbers are 62.1% are homeowners in this country. It's sad. 30 other countries have a higher percentage of home ownership than America. So obviously there's plenty of product and there's room to grow. Now, what's happening is that Truly has done a survey of young adults, and that's, by the way, 104 million singles from age 18 to 44 that would love to have a home, because Truly has revealed that 78% have it as one of their life's goals to end up with home ownership. The market is huge, and the U.S. market is growing every day. 10,800 people are born, while only 7,200 die. So it's a net gain of 3,600 human beings every single day in America. Now think about that. We have such a growing population and such a need for housing. And we're kind of in a perfect storm right now, because 500,000 units stopped being built for about 7 years in this country. And so that's a whole lot of houses that never got built. And of course, there's still the demand that's coming in. So we're in a perfect storm right now, where there's a dearth of housing and there's an awful lot of people that want to own it. I'm going to give you an example here. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house sold for $129,900. I bought that house for $26,000. So we're big believers in buying right and buying cheap. But what you're learning tonight is that we're going to go a different direction entirely than the traditional real estate model. The traditional real estate model is to go ahead and get the property bought, get it rehabbed, put it on the market, and sell it to somebody with good enough credit. And we're going to go in a different direction today. And I want you to take a look at some interesting statistics as we go through this. First of all, I'm a big believer that you got to get your bills covered. So cash now and cash flow later. Cash now for your bills, cash flow on an ongoing monthly basis, so that you can have that life that you're looking for. How would you like to own an autopilot cash machine that churns out money, works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you don't have to? Now, every time you hear something you love tonight, I want to hear you say, "Yeah, baby." Now you can do it right there from home. Just say, "Yeah, baby, that's good stuff." Everybody would love to have a business like that. Now, I got a business like that. I'm going to show you how you can have a business like that too. Now, Street Smart is the name of my company. Been buying, selling, and holding property now for, like I said, 40 years. And I've been teaching others how to build businesses since 1987. So yeah, 30 years I've been a teacher and a trainer and helping other people build amazing businesses. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to share with you now the business model that we've put together, using all the things that I've shared with you already as a background and a foundation for what I'm about to share with you. All right, so one of the things that we do is we focus on these little green houses in today's market, and especially if you're just getting started, that's where you really need to focus. First of all, that's what people want. They want independent single-family homes or small multifamily properties. You can always grow up to this bigger stuff, just like you do in Monopoly. Once you have enough of those little green houses, then you can put a hotel, an apartment building, whatever, on that property or buy a different one. The point is, though, that I want to put you in a safety zone where you can make the most money. And right now in today's market, that's the place, baby. You can make so much money. Yeah, baby, that's a good thing. So in order to get what you're going to be learning today, I need you to have a paradigm shift. Now, what's a paradigm? A paradigm is, and I want you to think about that for just a second. What is your definition of paradigm? What is your definition of what life is? And what is a paradigm? What's your paradigm? Well, for most people, a change in your belief as how to make money in real estate safely and easily. Safely and easily. Safely and easily. Those are very important words right there. So what's going to happen here just in a second is I'm going to have you shift your thinking about how business is done into a whole new paradigm, a whole new belief system. And so I have to kind of prepare you for that, because we're going to take a leap into another arena. And when we do that, I don't want to leave you behind, because you're coming from a certain belief system. When you joined us today, you had a certain belief about how money is made and what you do to make the money. So if you're like me, you've probably changed your mind in your life. So get ready to change your mind, because we're going to look at things from a different point of view. Now, what is this? This is a patchwork quilt. And I always challenge people to say, is your business like a patchwork quilt, where you've taken an idea from here and a concept from there and a form from another place, and you try to cobble that together into a business, and you find out that it's not such a business. And in fact, it's not such a good way to build a business at all. Now, I want you to be thinking about franchises. Franchises is the best business model ever. Why? Because they have operations manuals, and they tell you exactly what to do. And they give you a brand, and they give you a step-by-step process. They give you training. They give you tools. They give you technology. They give you a team. They give you support. They give you everything that you need to be successful in business. And all you got to do is put the blinders on and just do what they tell you to do. How cool is that? That's a brilliant business model. Now, there's three major sectors in a successful real estate business that we're going to cover. So buying, selling, and holding, and protecting all that you create. So literally, we take, and in that 3-day training I was mentioning to you before, the Millionaire Jumpstart, we're going to actually take time for 3 days and go through an in-depth on each one of these segments of your business. See, we could talk about how to buy and sell a house. We could talk about doing one transaction. But what I want to set you up with and for is an opportunity to then do it over and over and over and over again, like a franchise. Because basically, the owner of the franchise is often not there. They have a system, and then they have people that help them implement and operate that system. That's exactly the opportunity that presents itself to you. So major league money-making paradigm shift, number one. Now remember, we're going to paradigm what? Shift into a whole new way of thinking. Make money now. Make money when? Now, before you even buy the property. So just as Scott promised you tonight, we're going to learn exactly how to make money before you buy the property. And again, that's a paradigm shift, because in your belief system, you've been going in the opposite direction. You've been buying the properties first, and then often fixing them up, and then selling them to retail buyers. We're going to do something completely different than that. We're going to stop patchwork quilting and create a theme for your business. Now, question number 2, do real estate investors have a good name? Well, I think you'll agree that a lot of people out there, when they hear the term real estate investor, they don't think such good things at all. In fact, they think, hey, these people aren't so cool at all. And they think that, real estate investors are money grubbing, lying, cheating, stealing, bad people. And you think to yourself, oh my gosh, is that the group of people I'm hanging out with? Is that the group of people that I'm affiliating with? Well, we're going to look at things from a different point of view tonight, because that's exactly what people think when they hear the term real estate investor. So we're going to rename our position right now. We're going to rename ourselves into something else. And we can talk to other real estate investors about real estate investing, but when we're out there in the world, we're not going to call ourselves real estate investors anymore. Now, I hope you're getting a lot of value out of what I'm sharing with you today, because this is a different way of looking at your business. You see, we deserve credit for who we are. We actually buy rundown, dilapidated properties. We fix those properties up, buying supplies locally, hiring help locally to do that. We also restore those properties. We restore them to the public records and to tax rolls. And then we actually help deserving families to be able to have housing. I mean, we are great people in the world, but we don't get any credit. So we're going to go in a different direction. Question number 3, and this is an important one: are you and your business just about the money? Well, I hope that you are like me and that you want to make a difference out there in the world. You want to help others to have a better life than the one they've got. And you want to feel good about the business that you're in. You want to make a difference out there in the world. Well, this comes from my background and my mom's great soul of, wanting to help others. Even though we didn't have anything, here she is busy volunteering and doing all kinds of things. So she taught me about volunteering, and that's one of the reasons that I did all those things to help our industry as a volunteer. And I saw one thing that I was so attracted to this business, and yet I saw that governments, city council, county commission, nobody had respect for who we are. Nobody had respect for what we were doing in the communities. And so I said, we've got to change and transform that. And that was one of my goals when I took over and created National RIA, was to transform that conversation. Now, follow along with me tonight, because what if we are doing good while doing well? Now, how many of you like the idea of doing good while doing well? Well, that's exactly what our plan is. You see, instead of being real estate investors, I want to make you an affordable housing provider. An affordable housing provider. Now, just imagine, doesn't that sound kind of non-profity? I told you earlier that we were going to tie this back in with nonprofit, but that's exactly what people think when they hear that you're an affordable housing provider. Now, this right here, this is certified affordable housing provider. Now, all of my licensees actually end up getting logo wear and all kinds of things because they want to have a brand that they can bring to the marketplace. They want to have a look and a feel for who they are in the community, whether they're buying notes, whether they're buying houses, whether they're in the apartment business, anything that's related to housing. They want to have a understanding around doing good while doing well. So we got to rename ourselves if that's our ultimate strategy, is to make a difference in other people's lives. So we have a national program for you and your business. It's called the Path to Home Ownership. Now, this is what our certified affordable housing providers offer out in the world. It's called the Path to Home Ownership. And we've actually got a book called Never Pay Rent Again. Isn't that cool? Never Pay Rent Again. And it's our book that we give to our buyers, and it's got credit, and it's got all kinds of things that talk about who we are and what we do. So our licensees actually have this book that they can give to other people to show them how they can end up with ownership of a property. So what happens is that our path to home ownership actually has steps. And I'm sure you've heard of rent and rent to own and owner financing, but what we've done is taken it and put it all together as part of an overall branding. So we take a deserving family, regardless of background, regardless of credit, and we give them an opportunity at home ownership. Now we step them up through our membership program, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, until they can end up with home ownership. Isn't that a cool thing? So just think that you and your company are about making a difference in families' lives, making a difference for sellers and for buyers. Now just watch this one. It's a new day, it's a new way. Become a member today. So what happens is, and what I'm sharing with you tonight, is a philosophy and a way of being. We call it the house monster. And basically, the house monster, what the house monster does is the house monster goes out there in the world. I'm trying to get it where it doesn't reflect, but the house monster goes out there in the world, and he actually brings you a whole bunch of leads. Isn't that cool? So he brings you a bunch of leads for people that want exactly this, that they want a better life than the one they've got. They want to end up with ownership of property at some point in their life, and they're willing to do what you tell them to do. Now, this all ties back to making money before you buy a property, because what happens is they enroll in your program and you start making money right away before you've even bought a property for them. Now, let's take a break. How many of you would be motivated? Wouldn't you be motivated if you had a customer? And wouldn't you be motivated if this customer had, say, 5, 10, 20, 50,000, $100,000 to put down on a house? Yes, what I'm telling you is absolutely true. There are tons of people out there that have plenty of money that they are willing to put down, but they can't qualify for a traditional loan. They can't qualify because they have less than perfect credit. And one of the biggest challenges right now is that so many people are chasing a very small number of folks that can actually qualify for loans. Now, folks, this is where the money is. You're learning about notes, and you're learning about yield, and you're learning about how money can make money by buying at a discount and then being able to collect at retail, buying wholesale, collecting at retail. And it's a beautiful, beautiful business. We just do the same thing with houses for a minute until we can monetize that property and ultimately turn it into a note. And it's an in-house note. So I don't have to worry about who are those borrowers and what's their paperwork, and is this paperwork false and fraud, and is this made up, and am I getting in trouble? And you know, with paper, one of the challenges with paper is it's paper. And paper can be made up. So I love the idea of making my own paper where I understand the asset, I understand the people, and I can be able to collect for a long period of time. Now, you're about to see some interesting things about that. So what happens is that our clients come in and they get a membership certificate. So depending on the level that they join us at, they get a certificate for that level. Now, that means they've paid us more money. So each one of these levels mean that they've actually paid us more money to join the program, and they are all given the opportunity to step up, step up, step up until they can end up with ownership of the property. And that's our ultimate strategy. And you'll see how this works because it's really exciting. Now, just like stand back from what I've shared with you so far and just say, you know, what about me, and what about my family, and what about my life, and what wouldn't it look great to me, to my family, to my friends, and to my clients if I'm out there doing something like this and helping others? And think about local government, city council, county commission, anybody would respect exactly what you're doing. Why? Because it's something unique. And by the way, every time people hear about this program, they say, where have you been? This is exactly what I've been looking for. And in fact, we have full color brochures that go through the whole process and explain to people exactly how the program works. You can put these out at grocery stores and the whole bit. So it's a full-blown program. It's not just an idea. It's a full-blown program. And what happens is that our clients, they do two things. One is, if you've already got properties, we can take the clients that are in your properties and convert them to path to home ownership clients. Now, why would you want to do that? Because someone who is, there's something in it for them, is going to take better care of that property. Just think about it. And they're going to want to make the payment every month because there's what? Something in it for them. And that's the real thing that you want to understand. You can be in this business and you can incentivize other folks to be excited about what you're doing. You see, the impetus for this really came from when I was 12 years old. And here I am in front of that property where my mother tried to buy this house. And she was turned down for this house. She was turned down after we did the stack of paper with the bank. They had a special program that we were supposed to get into, and she was turned down for the loan. And what happened was, she said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is not us. We don't do it. This is for other people. This is not us. Let's not talk about this anymore. So it was devastating for me, 12 years old. I thought I was going to move into a home. It didn't happen. I stayed in those apartments I shared with you. And that's not cool. I'm a big believer that children do what they see. Children do what they see. And if we can show children out there today that their parents are striving for a better life, they're striving to do better, then the children are going to strive to do better. And that we can actually solve the housing problem in America, because we control a lot more houses collectively. And instead of just hoarding them for ourselves, we actually give people an opportunity to have a better life. You see, that's the game. And the big news is a lot of landlords hoard properties, and then one day they wake up and they say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go to Florida and walk on the beach, and I don't want to answer any phones, and I don't want to do anything. Well, what I'm teaching you to do right here is to create a built-in exit strategy. So what happens is that every one of your residents now has an opportunity to move up and eventually end up owning that property. And you've got an exit strategy where you're not selling the property at a discount, you're actually selling it at retail plus, as I'll show you in just a minute. So the other aspect of this is about credibility. Does credibility matter? And I think you would agree with me with in the days of fake news, credibility matters more than ever before. And it's so easy for people to be misled, and they already know it. So they really need to feel comfort that you're the kind of person that they want to work with. So our big money and kind of like the big zig in our business has been to really create a whole new way of being and a whole new relationship. Now more than ever, you need credibility when you are going to buy or sell property, or even when you're going to buy or sell notes. You need to have the ability to talk to other people and to be able to show them that you are credible because you've gone through training, you've gone through testing, and you've earned the license to actually use that. So we have a national membership for you and your business. What happens is that when you join and become a House Monster licensee, then what happens is you also are admitted as a member of the Street Smart Affordable Housing Network. Now, this is a nationwide network of affordable housing providers, and you're given the right to use this emblem on your marketing. As you will see, all of this ties in beautifully with where you're going with your business. Now, another thing is that you're going to get a special certificate. This certificate is to put part of your credibility kit. Now, what we do is actually give you some great things. Once you come to the Millionaire Jumpstart 3-day training, then you're going to learn how to actually become certified and become a certified affordable housing provider. You're going to start off getting business now, making money now. Then you're going to come to the 3-day training, and I'm going to show you how to even improve on that. Buy the houses right, buy them cheap, buy them with the seller being the bank. You see, folks, when I found out, when I was 18 years old, when I found out that I could buy a house without going to the bank and without qualifying for loans, that changed my life. So Aunt Mabel had gone to banks and qualified for loans, and she had the ability to do that because she had a job, she had income, she had credit, she had everything. But I didn't have that at 18. I didn't have any of that. How was I able to buy a house? Because I could take over that existing financing. I found out something Aunt Mabel didn't know. I had the opportunity to come in, take over that property, and be able to make a wonderful investment, and I didn't need the bank. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is exactly where I am right now. I have never been to the bank. I have never qualified for a loan on a single family or small multifamily property, ever. And I bet you have. Well, what happens is you just didn't know me before now. That's all, because the new path that we're going to go down is a thing called taking over existing financing. The owner carries back financing, and we get our money from private money sources, from people's IRAs, 401ks, and private funds. We do not go to banks. We do not qualify for loans. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that. Maybe you got a great line of credit and a great interest rate at your bank. You can choose to do that if you want to, but that's not my choice. My choice is that once I learned, I didn't have to go to banks and didn't have to qualify for loans. I realized I didn't need a stellar credit report. I didn't need to have piles of money in the bank. I didn't need to have proof of funds letters. I didn't need any of that nonsense. And I was able to buy properties because I learned some things I call magic words, the magic words of what to say and how to say it to sellers. And we make a presentation when we go visit with sellers. We don't just say, hey, here's how much I can pay you for your property. We actually go through a whole presentation process. And it is so much fun once you learn that. So we're going to do that at Millionaire Jumpstart. We're literally going to spend a whole session just on something we call the cost to sell worksheet, where the seller actually helps you to come up with the numbers. Is that a beautiful thing? So I'm going to teach you all about that. Now, we have national branding for you and your business. So what happens is that you end up with the t-shirts, the caps, the jackets, the magnets for your cars, the banners for your buildings, the brochures, and all the cool stuff once you become certified. So it's a real business plan. It's a business model where we're taking you step by step by step to earn the credibility for your business. And see, what we've done is many of my clients now have actually done this and wrapped their vehicles. Now, you don't have to. It's not a requirement, but you might choose to. And because of that credibility, just imagine you pull up in Mrs. Jones's driveway and all of a sudden you're a certified affordable housing provider. How cool is that? So that's the idea of, over time, building your business. Now, many of my people start out in their homes, and you're not required to get an office. You're not required to get a building. You're not required to do anything. Just follow the system. And what happens is that when you get enough business, you're going to want to do exactly what I've done, and get an office of your own. And I'm going to show you how to do that too. Now, there is a national book for you and your business called Doing Good While Doing Well. And in fact, this is the book right here. And I'm going to give all of you, when you come to Jumpstart, I'm going to give you all a copy of the Doing Good While Doing Well book. Now, it is really cool because it's how real estate investors provide a service and make a difference. And in fact, when you come to Jumpstart, we're going to actually have an autograph ceremony, and I'll be glad to autograph that for you. Amazon.com has this book, but I would love to give it to you for free. Now, Doing Good While Doing Well is not just written by me, it's also written by CAPs all over the country who are doing exactly what I'm telling you about right now tonight. This is not like here's a concept. No, there's people out there doing this. And listen to me, many of them have built multi-million-dollar businesses doing exactly this. So I want to show you what the difference is between buying and selling and actually building a business. You see, a business is done differently than just the process of buying and selling. You want to create a machine, and the machine does the buying and selling. The machine has workers, and those workers have things happen, and they produce the product. The owner of the factory is not on the floor creating the product. They're up in the ivory tower looking at the people create the product. And you've got an opportunity to do exactly that. Now, maybe you only want to do 2 or 3 deals a year. This is for you. If you want to do 2 or 3 deals a week, this is for you. So it really does fit for every type of business owner and every type of goal that you might have. We talked earlier about goals and where you're really headed for your business and where you want to head. Now we have a mission as well. Our mission is to transform lives through affordable housing to empower families and individuals to enjoy the American dream of home ownership. How cool is that? Now, every one of you, you're going to get a special disc that has all of this on here. So we're going to ship you a disc. There's a lot of marketing materials in the House Monster, because remember, the House Monster, he's going to bring you a whole bunch of deals, right? And so he's got to give you some marketing materials, and rather than you having to create them on your own, I've already created them. They've already been proven that they work across the country. And we give you the disc so that you can simply put your contact information on there. Everything else is done. Press print. You got your marketing materials, and it's a beautiful thing. This was a game changer for us and our business. I told you, paradigm shift. Paradigm what? Shift. You got to think a whole new way about how you're doing business, because what I'm telling you is that we're going to get the customers first. We're not going to get them after we buy a property. We're going to get them before we buy a property. So where do I begin? You begin with dealing with the fears that you have that are stopping you from doing this business. Because the problem is, everybody understands you can buy houses, but the concern, the fear is you might not be able to get them sold. Or how long is it going to take to get it sold? Or is there going to be theft and disruption during the process? Are you going to have to deal with contractors? That's what I go, contractors. They got it built right into their name, don't they? And, so my goal is to get you out of that world and into a whole new world. What if your buyers actually came along and through the interview process, we have a script for this, the buyers actually tell you that they will do some, all, or none of the work? Would that be a cool thing? Yeah, absolutely. So that's exactly where we're going, that we're going to interview folks and discover what they can do and what they can't do. And then we're going to match the deal to them. Now think about this. You're not in the rehab business anymore. You're not in the retail rehab business. You're actually in the housing provider business, helping people regardless of their credit or financial background to end up with ownership of a property. And isn't that a great thing? Now just breathe. I've given a lot of information in a short period of time, I know. And I hope you're taking a lot of valuable notes, because this is really, really a game changer. I promise you, it will absolutely change your life. It'll change your game in real estate, because this is exactly what we do. And we have licensees all across America that are doing exactly this. And the biggest complaint I get from my people is, Lou, I turned on the House Monster and I just wasn't expecting it to actually work. So, they'll tell me, I got 24 leads in 4 hours, Lou. I got 40 leads in a whole day. I wasn't ready for that. So I'm just letting you know, this thing works, okay? This thing works. And I'm just going to warn you, this thing works. So I've actually got lead management in the House Monster to teach you exactly how to do. I've got a phone system in there with pre-recorded scripts. So you can, as soon as that lead comes in, they're managing themselves by listening to the pre-recorded scripts that explains the program. So you don't have to explain it to every person, because to be honest with you, the market is so large, it's incredible. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you, because see, here's what the real problem is. If you want to know what the real problem is, making money in real estate, particularly retail real estate, is that real estate agents, mortgage brokers, and investors are all chasing a very small market. A very small market. Only 20% of the market can qualify for low interest financing. Low interest financing. These are the A credit borrowers out there. The truth is 80% are B, C, D, E, F, G type buyers. And they've got such poor credit that they have to pay a higher interest rate, or they can't get the house at all. And we run into this. I mean, we run into business owners a lot who actually have lots of down payment money, and they can afford money every month. Nice payments every month, but they're turned down. The banks don't love them. Maybe that's happened to you. If you don't believe this is true, ask any real estate agent, ask any mortgage broker. They will tell you that everything I'm telling you is absolutely true. People are turned down all the time because of that. Now, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to monetize that. We're going to monetize that, friends. And what happens is that when they come to you, they don't really have any other place to go. That's the big news. They don't have any place to go. Now, imagine that instead of having an inventory of houses, you've got an inventory of customers, an inventory of pre-qualified customers. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? You see, that the challenge is that the lenders have clamped down, and because of the Dodd-Frank Act, it's actually made it harder to qualify for loans. And in fact, what they're doing is they're actually increasing the score on an annual basis, making it even harder for people to qualify for loans, which means, of course, you end up paying more holding costs on properties, spend thousands in rehab, end up with lower profits, and in some cases, you sell the properties at a loss. Well, that sucks. You know, who wants that? That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, you know why? Because they didn't have a customer first. Hello? Didn't have a customer first. If you just had a customer, all of that would be different. So Major League money-making paradigm shift. Paradigm what? Shift to a whole new way of thinking, a whole new belief system that you have on how real estate is done in America. What if you could attract and serve 80 to 100% of the market? Would that be cool or what? And that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what the game is. The House Monster is designed to do exactly that. Find your market first. Find your market when? First, before you do anything else. So when you market to find your market, when you market to find your client before you buy the property, you actually know what kind of property to buy. You know how much you can afford to put down because you've already got a customer that's got that much money to put down. You already know what you can mark it up to because you've got a customer pre-qualified at that amount for the property, that price for the property. It's a beautiful thing. So we've created a whole slew of marketing materials to attract these kind of people. We've got handwritten signs. Well, they're not so you can handwrite them. We actually give you the template in your package so that you can take this to or send it to a printer, and they will print the handwritten signs because people pay attention to handwritten signs. The other thing is, see, one of the big mistakes that people make is they believe that they have to market to the whole metro area. The truth is that for most people, within 5 miles of, watch this one, where you live, within 5 miles of where you live, there's a big enough market for you. So in other words, you can buy, you can sell, you can manage, you can rent to own, owner finance, you can do all of that within your target market. And wouldn't you love to be able to have a business that's actually close to home? That's exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, welcome to my world. This is what we do. You see, I don't teach you something that we don't do. We do this. And when we do this, then we've got the ability to constantly bring in new leads. Now, this is our $8,000 Uncle Sam bucks. And what this is to attract people to let them know that you have identified some government grant money. And this government grant money, and I'm going to give you as a bonus today, I'm going to give you all these grant programs that we found throughout the country that actually can be for your business, but also to help your clients buy properties from you. So not only do they have their own money, they may qualify for one of these grant programs. So now you're helping them to bring even more cash to the table. Now you're going to see how creating your own paper is going to be exciting because you've actually got a way to bring in the customers with significant down payment, significant skin in the game. And that's what it's all about. So you see, I know your business because I do your business, you see. So now we've got marketing materials that bring those customers in, and we put them out, grocery stores, beauty shops, barber shops, all the community service businesses that have those kind of customers coming to them. They actually can become sellers to you or buyers from you. You don't think there's buyers out there? Well, Janice said, hey, Lou, since starting your House Monster program just 2 months ago, I've added over 300 people on my buyers list, and I'm closing to about 5 houses this month. 3 are already sold. Lou, you rock. Yeah, baby. Because look at that. So Janice paid attention Now, this is not my wife, Janice. This is one of my clients, Janice, who actually paid attention and did what I told her to do. And she was able to get all these buyers that she was able to pre-qualify, put them on her buyers list, and boom, buy houses for them. Doesn't that make sense? Now, know that there are buyers out there. Now, you don't think there's money out there, but there is. Take a look at this. I think you'd agree with me that Boston, Massachusetts is a pretty expensive marketplace. And David Grace, he went and found this property, and he said, wanted you to know that House Monster's doing well in Massachusetts. Bought this house for $200,000 with a combination of seller financing and private money. See, I taught him, even though he's a doctor, he's a dentist, he could go out there and qualify for loans. I said, David, we don't have to do that. We don't do that in our world. We don't go to banks and qualify for loans. How about if you were able to use the seller as the bank? And if you need rehab money, you can get that from private money sources, which is exactly what he did. He rehabbed the house, sold it for $328,000, and the new buyers gave him, look at that, $100,000 cash down payment. $100,000 down, baby. Now, think about that. Wow. Now, wait a minute. Let's slow this car down. Let me see if I got this right. You mean I can go find these buyers first, and then I can sell them a property that matches their situation? That is exactly what I'm telling you. And there's special paperwork. There's a script that we're going to use when those calls come in. There's a script to gather the right information. It's going to make a lot of sense to you, and to build your buyer's list so you know exactly what kind of properties you can negotiate and purchase for them. Now, isn't this kind of doing reverse doing real estate in reverse? That's exactly what it is, because we're actually finding the buyer first, and then we're finding the property. Now, know that there's money out there, and the House Monster is the game changer. So this is where we're headed with your business, because the House Monster is actually out there finding you these buyers and actually bringing them to you with loads of cash, down payment money that they're willing to give you just to play, just to be in your game. Now, how are we going to monetize? All right, here's the deal. When these callers call in, we have a script. You're going to intake their information, and that's going to be free of charge to the client. However, to move on with your program, you're going to need to do a credit analysis. That costs the client $50 for you to pull their credit, analyze it, and determine that, okay, they have less than perhaps perfect credit. So number one, you're going to get paid to do that analysis, not to pull the credit. You're going to pull the credit free of charge. We're going to analyze that credit. Now, do you think you're qualified to look at a credit report and determine that it's less than perfect? In other words, it has lates on there. Maybe it has judgments and liens, whatever it might have. Now, I think you're qualified to read that and see there's a problem. Now, the next step is to say, okay, based on where you stand right now, we have a solution. We have a nonprofit organization that does credit restoration. They've been in business 13 years. They're A+ accredited by the Better Business Bureau. We're going to place you in there. You're going to actually be able to see your score real time, all 3 credit bureaus, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're going to write the letters for you. You're going to mail them, and they're going to help you get things removed from your credit report, things that by law can be removed. And so what happens is they use the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and they're able to cause the credit bureaus to do certain things to have that credit report improve. Now, your client then goes into that program, and by the way, you just made $100. The sign-up fee is $99. The company pays you $100 for signing them up, and $12 a month residual income. So if you choose to become an agent, otherwise you can refer them to me, and I'll pay you $50 for those leads, and I'll make the other $50. So you can do this. See, we've set this up so that you're making money now. Think about it. You use the house muster. You got a bunch of leads coming in. Got a bunch of leads coming in. And then you've got the opportunity, of course, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Certain percentage of those are going to go on and enroll in your program. And then they're going to enroll in the credit restoration while you're looking for a property for them. How brilliant is that? Now you've got customers and you've made money with them. And that's exactly where we're going with this. And this is what was promised to you tonight, that I would show you how you can make money up front. But wait, there's more. You can even make more money while they're in the program. And then, of course, I call it bits and pieces and hunks and chunks, because your bits and pieces of money is your money that's paid out from the credit restoration and from the credit analysis form. And then your hunks and chunks are their down payment money. And then finally, when they cash you out. Now, understand this. They're not cashing you out at retail. They're cashing you out at retail plus. So typically, our houses sell for 10 to 20% above cash market. Why? Because they have less than perfect credit. So they don't argue with you the price. What they care about is it affordable? So what you're going to do is cause them to get affordable housing. It's a really cool thing. You're making a difference in people's worlds. You're making a difference in people's lives. Many of our clients who've become certified affordable housing providers have helped so many people end up with home ownership. This is what we do in our business every day. This is what we have clients nationwide. See, I could sit on all this and do this just myself. Why should I do that? I want to have a nationwide network that we're all doing the same thing. Now imagine that now I can go to Congress and I can talk to them about their housing problem and all the houses that they've got in inventory that my certified affordable housing providers can help people get home ownership. You see, there's power in numbers, and I cannot do this alone. I need help with this, and that's the reason that I'm doing this tonight. I want to give you an opportunity to join us, learn what we're doing, implement it locally. Like I said, you don't have to have an office. You don't have to have a staff. We're going to start you where you're at and grow you up through this process. I have grown so many people out of their jobs and into their own operation locally. Now imagine that now you have a business that's sellable. You see, businesses, when they're done right and they're duplicatable, they can be sold all lock, stock, and barrel to somebody else. You see, because you got a dependable, predictable lead flow and income stream coming in off that property. How cool is that? I hope you are learning a lot tonight. I mean, just take a breath. Oh, wow. That's a lot of information, Lou. That's a lot of stuff to think about. Stop thinking and start doing. The reason I say that is because you don't have to make this difficult. You don't have to create for yourself a challenge. It's all done for you. We've already figured out what works and what doesn't. You don't have to think about that. Don't change my marketing material. Don't change them. Don't change them. They work. They work. You just implement. Your whole job and everything that I'm showing you is to implement. That's all. Just implement. Put the blinders on. Do what I'm telling you to do. If you're inclined to do that, or hire somebody to do that, or have a spouse or family member that can do that, you're off to the races, baby. And I don't care if you're just getting started or if you've got 100 properties. And in fact, I have a lot of people join me that have a lot of properties already. And they go, man, that was the missing link for me. That was what I really needed to cement my business together. I needed to have the branding. I needed to have the operations. I needed to have the process and the formula and the flow. I needed to get my properties into trust. I needed to get my vehicles into trust. I needed to get my bank account in trust. I needed to get my name off public record. And Lou, you showed me how to do that. And then I needed to have a system to bring in deals, buying and selling. You see, we don't only have finding the buyers before you buy, we have how you can get the sellers that want to sell their home this very way. Because in fact, they're willing to wait on their money because they're house is going to help a deserving family end up with home ownership. One of the things, I'll share this with you, one of the things we do when we go talk to a seller is we bring the book, and our licensees have the right to buy these books. And you can take these books, and you take the book and you put it down in front of the seller and you say, I have something for you when we finish today, whether we do business together or not. I just wanted you to share this with you. And this is the book, Doing Good While Doing Well, that you'll be leaving behind with the seller. Now, I promise you, there's an element here. There's a big deal here, because a lot of people, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about making a difference. It's about, because the fact that you had something different, you had something unique, you had something that helped people and not hurt people. You weren't some shark that came in there trying to steal their property. You're actually doing something to help others. That's a big deal. Now, I'll tell you who else this is a big deal for. Lenders, people who have private money. They love their money to go for a program like this. Now, I hope I'm making an impact on what your thinking is, because I promised you paradigm shift, and I hope you're having a shift tonight, because that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to shift your thinking. We're going to shift your business into overdrive. And it's a lot easier way to make money than some of the things you may have already tried. Now, that's money before you sell a house to them. And now let's find affordable housing for them. And by the way, we're going to go into a lot more detail about this at the Millionaire Jumpstart. So here's an example of a house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Look at those window boxes and beautiful leaded doors and everything. Bought that house for $30,000. And I know that Scott has taught you over and over and over about deals where you end up, the note goes bad, the people go bad, you have to foreclose, you end up with the house. And because you bought the note at a discount, you end up with the real estate. Well, imagine that you already have customers that can move in. You already have customers with down payment money. You already have customers with down payment money that can move in, that have good enough credit that can actually pop the top and purchase the property with a brand new loan. Now you've maximized the profits you can make. Why sell it wholesale when you can sell it retail plus to somebody that really appreciates what you're doing for them? Now, this is the business that we're in. Affordable housing is what the customer can afford. So you may have thought that when you heard the term affordable housing, you probably thought, oh, well, you're talking about junky houses, Lou. No, does that look like a junky house? No, that's a pretty house. That's a pretty house. That's what we say in the South. That's a pretty house. Now, what are you talking about? I'm talking about that the customer, because you got them in the beginning and you actually did an interview and you discovered where they work, how long they've been there, how much they earn, that you're able to discern exactly what they can afford, and then you find a house for them. So I recently sold a house, $425,000. They put $42,500 down. They became one of my owner finance or gold members. And at the gold level, that's when you are providing owner financing for your client. Now, at the gold level, you make points that you add to the loan. They pay you 10% down. Now they've got skin in the game, and you make monthly income off of that. So we write our notes at 40 years. So it's 40-year financing, 10.5% interest, according to Dodd-Frank these days, and that we can charge 10.5. So it's a really cool thing. And it's an opportunity, you see, because the formula we use is not to set people up for failure. It's to set them up for success, because we never take more than 1/3 of their income towards housing. Now, this is Dave Ramsey approved, baby, because this is exactly what Dave Ramsey teaches as well. Never use more than 1/3 of your income towards housing. So we help our folks and we qualify them and pre-qualify them exactly this way. So you say, I can't find deals like that. Well, let me tell you something, folks. There's so many houses out there. Look, doesn't everybody want 3+ bedrooms and 2+ bathrooms? I mean, that's where the market is. Below $60,000 near Pittsburgh, there's 641 in the MLS. Oh, there are houses out there. If you want to go ahead and get some inventory, you can do that. You see, because within 20 miles of Chattanooga, below 80,000, there's 219. In Seattle, Washington, below 150,000, you have to go a little bit more there because it's more expensive. There's 186. In Orlando, Florida, below 50,000, there's 259. You see, there's so many houses out there that are affordable houses if you want to go after those types of properties. Imagine that you have the opportunity to have a business where you are actually finding houses for people that you already have in inventory. You have a people inventory. It's a cool thing. And that's just the MLS. I'm going to teach you other ways that we find houses too. In fact, when you come to Jumpstart, we have access to the MLS throughout America. Throughout America, we have access to the MLS, and we turn our students onto it. It is so cool. And it's such a great way that you can access deals right now. Why? Because you got a customer. Because you got a customer with down payment money, you know what they can afford. Let's go on the MLS, baby. Because I promise you, there's some properties that have been sitting there for a while that the agent is going to be thrilled to allow you to go make a presentation. I'm going to teach you this, the presentation process to the seller. Are you learning a lot? I hope you are enjoying this. I hope that this is something unique and different and paradigm shifting for you. If so, let us know. Let us know that this is meaningful for you and powerful for you, because we teach you that really a target market is what it's all about, baby. If you can just get that target market, and I'll show you how to do that within 5 miles of where you live. Now, of course, if you live in the sticks, we're going to draw a bigger circle. But the point is that within that target market, there's typically a big enough market for you to take care of you and your family for many years to come. And so we're going to teach you this process. We're going to give you the tools, and we're going to show you what to do. Now, that's May 5th, 6th, and 7th in Atlanta. And we got 2 tickets, not 1, but 2. There is a $99 reservation fee that reserves your seat and gives you the tools and the materials and the Millionaire Jumpstart manual. By the way, you are going to get a special manual when you come to. This is my Millionaire Jumpstart manual. And in this manual is some of my famous forms. You know, Scott talked about, that I have been teaching real estate for a long time, and I have found out what works and what doesn't. And there's some very powerful things that you need to have in your tool chest that help you and solve problems for you. You don't even know what they are. Believe me, I do. I have spent a lot of money making a lot of mistakes that I no longer make because I've got the right paperwork. So paperwork is a key element of having success in real estate. I'm going to give that to you when you come to Jumpstart. So that's what we're doing for you. Now, by the way, the $99 covers 2 people. So when you come to Jumpstart, we're going to have the seat for you and all the goodies there for you. Now, with this manual, we're also going to be giving you some powerful additional tools that I'm going to be covering. Now, I bet you know that a successful business needs a business plan, but you've likely not gotten around to doing a business plan. And the reason you haven't is because you don't know how to do a business plan. So we're going to do that together right there in class. On day 1, we're going to go through and actually create a business plan based on your number, your big number and your monthly number. We're going to build a business around that number. And you're going to be astounded that business is a formula. And when we put the formula in place, it's going to change your paradigm. It's going to change how you look at your business. For example, this is Jeff Paulus. He was a framer out there in the world. He was a framer. And he says, Lou, help me out here. He says, I got 3 kids. I got twins and another son. He said, they're under 6 years old. My wife is homeschooling the kids. She doesn't work. He said, help me get out of this world and into your world. I said, Jeff, get on board and stay on board, baby. Let me show you something. Now, here's the deal. He bought this house, $165,000. He bought it by taking over the existing financing on the property, not going to banks, not qualifying for loans, 5.25% mortgage, $747 per month, plus taxes and insurance. And look at this. He's telling you right there, I will pay the remaining $97,580 when I sell it. 0 interest, no money down. Now think about that. 0 interest, no money down. Why in the world would a seller sit still for that? This is why. This is why. People will wait for their money. They will be your bank if you'll just give them the opportunity to be your bank. 0 interest, no money down. Already have a buyer on rent to own, $234,900. Now look at that. How did he already have a buyer? Of course, it was his house monster. His house monster had already created his buyers, had already brought them. Jeff had already interviewed his buyers, already knew how much they could afford. He already knew they had $20,000 down. He already knew they could afford $1,500 a month. That means they were making at least $4,500 a month. And he already knew that he was going to make instant money, $20,000 cash to me now, plus $500 per month cash flow, plus $50,000 more later. Now he did exactly that. People moved into the home. They did make their payments. They went into credit restoration. They did end up buying the home. And Jeff made income during that time. He had his $20,000 to work with, and he was able to sell the house at retail plus. Now just imagine, you're selling your houses with no real estate commissions, no closing costs. It's all paid for by your buyer. No fix-up costs. They're doing some or all of the repairs. You're giving them in-house grant credit towards their down payment. You're not having to go through the pain and suffering that most real estate investors go through because you're not doing business that way. Now, this is a big deal. You're not doing business what? You're not doing business that way. This is what the paradigm shift is about. We're looking at business from a different point of view. So actually, not 70 units anymore. He's up to 96 units now. He's got an office. He's got a staff. He's got the whole thing. Just in Pennsylvania, in the middle of the state, around York, Pennsylvania area. Just imagine that you can do this any place in the country, and that's the cool thing. I've got people doing this in 3,000 population. Literally, the town is 3,000 population. I've got people doing this in, of course, metro areas where they don't even have to drive long distances within the metro area. They're actually able to do business right there. Now, doesn't it make sense to get a business model that actually gives you the opportunity to get customers first, get income first, get down payments first, get everything set up first, and then actually customize the buy, customize the purchase of the home, and get 30% or more than you would get on a normal retail deal? How cool is that? Another example I want to give you very quickly. Bought this home today with owner financing the Street Smart way. Bought this home today with owner financing the Street Smart way. And that means that the seller carried back the financing. Sold it with owner financing. This is where I say create your own notes, baby. Today at lunchtime, the house monster way with $50,000 down, $208 net cash flow. Now, wouldn't you be happy if you could get a couple of $100 a month and $50,000 down? Lead cost us exactly $0 using your house monster Zillow ad. We like this kind of lunch appointment. Now, just imagine that your business is a whole process where you are buying right and buying cheap. You're selling to customers that you already have. You're getting down payment money, and you're building up monthly income. And I know that Scott's been teaching about residual income that comes off of notes, residual income. This is a big deal. Here's our proud buyer holding his gold membership certificate. This is Elizabeth Goforth. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina. This gentleman had saved up his money but couldn't qualify for a loan at the bank, $50,000 down. And yes, we do frame the certificates and give them to our customers. You see, you want to have that credibility, that solid, that's going to make the people feel like your business is different than the others. We're off now to finish another closing at our new office. This one is our seller financed buyers who is cashing us out today with their new bank loan after they helped us improve their credit, after we helped them improve their credit. Now, just think about that. So now they had owner financed this property for someone. The people went into the credit restoration program. They got their credit good enough. They got a new loan. Pop the top. get the chunk of money at the end. How cool is that? And this is Wendell and Elizabeth's office in Charlotte, conference room. And side note, our office is costing us a whopping $0 per month. We manage the upstairs. I coached them through doing exactly this, where they manage the upstairs at no cost and get space in return at no charge. They let us put our House Monster marketing at the entrance too. What are you doing for your business today? Wendell Long, Charlotte, North Carolina. And the credibility of the Certified Affordable Housing Provider and Path to Homeownership program is awesome. Now just take a look at that. Imagine that eventually you're doing enough business and you've got enough income, you've got your own office, and you've got an amazing display of all the folks that you've helped to end up with homeownership. Now, this is a real deal, folks. This is not some made up, trumped up plan, man. This is a real deal where we've got people all across America doing exactly this. It's so exciting, and we're making such a difference in housing in America. We've got certified affordable housing providers. They come to the international headquarters in Tucker, Georgia, and you see that people have this is a truck over there to the right. One of our certified affordable housing providers wrapped their brand new truck and got a write-off too, baby. You know, it's over 6,000 pounds, and that beautiful Section 179 write-off, and you write off every dime of gas because you can't go anywhere without advertising. It's a beautiful thing. Now, what is the government? Grant money was to help them buy. You see, I'm giving you a lot of information tonight. I know that. Hope you're taking a lot of good notes, because there's state, county, and city grant money available too. So it's not just your buyer's money, it's also everything else. It's the money that can come from local programs that are available. And that's all driven so that you can get clients that are attracted to getting grant money as well. So we're going to give you the tools to do this with. It's all included with your House Monster. You don't have to think about any. Listen, I'm going to give you step by step so that you don't have anything or any other needs. In fact, this is going to freak you out. The table of contents for this 600-page document is 14 pages long of all kinds of different programs that are available for yourself, your company, your business, and your buyers to end up with ownership of property. There's rehab money, there's all kinds of assistance. So just imagine that you're helping others to end up with ownership of property, and you're leading them to the grant money. Now, guess who gets the grant money? Of course, they qualify for it, but you're the one who gets the grant money. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So it just helps people to bring more cash to the table than even what they've got. Recorded my first House Monster sale, $60,000 house, $4,000 cash down, $6,000 coming from government down payment assistance. Got the sale using your handwritten yellow sign. Owner financing, agreement for deed, 10%, 4 points. Receive the first 3 months mortgage payments at closing. Family's so grateful to own their own home and keeps thanking me. Wow. Thanks, Lou, for the House Monster program. Thanks for the downloads and all the good stuff. So listen, you don't have to figure this stuff out for yourself. We've got a system for this. So to recap, the House Monster is access to government grant money, immediate lead generation, potential immediate income, buying without banks training, because I want to teach you that you don't have to go to banks and you don't have to qualify for loans. And we don't, so why should you? Selling to be the bank. So now when you sell your properties, you don't have to take the hit that you normally take. Listen, with a retail deal, a bunch of your money goes to other people, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, paying for the buyer's financing. Oh my gosh, fixing up stuff that you already fixed up, repainting things you already painted, replacing things that get stolen. All of that nonsense happens in the retail world. Well, after I did hundreds of them, I said, I'm killing myself here and I don't enjoy this. What if I just stop doing that and start giving my buyers an incentive to come on board and do some or all of the repairs? Well, that changed my life, baby. It just changed my life. Private money access training, includes all the selling, marketing. So literally everything you need to sell any property. And we've got some very unique things in here. For example, my auction, where we auction off the down payment. There's a whole section in here just on that. So if you've got a property that you've got in inventory right now, or you've got a property that you're going to get back at some time, then you can auction off the down payment, where all of your buyers that you've got in inventory now can come look at that property and compete against each other for that property with the down payment. Excuse me, forms to implement immediately, and a complete business plan. Now, just think about it. Does it make sense to have something like this that actually gives you the tools to make this a success for you? You know, this is the game that I play. I love it, and I like to share it with other people because it is so good, and it's duplicatable. You can do it today, you can do it tomorrow, you can do it next week, next month, next year. If you were going to China for 2 months and then going to come back, guess what? This is still going to work then too. So it really doesn't matter when and how you implement this. It matters just that you do implement it. And you're going to be surprised how many customers actually come your way. And remember, you're able to monetize them. Nobody in the industry has created anything like this. This does not duplicate anything anywhere from anybody where we're able to monetize the front end. Nobody got this, baby. So you're going to get this from good old Lou Brown. Now, have you been able to understand what I've been teaching you today? And by the way, I'm going to be your teacher at the Millionaire Jumpstart. I'm going to be your teacher for all 3 days so that you can get the benefit of everything I'm going to be sharing with you there. And you can actually learn the entire system. I want to make sure that you follow along, because this is not playtime, folks. This is a real solid business. Now, our business, just do some math. What if you had 100 customers paying you $1,000 a month? How much is that per month? You can do that math, right? So then times a year, how much is that? Yes, it's over $1 million a year. Imagine that. You've got not $1 million in your lifetime, you got $1 million a year coming in with 100 customers. Now, what I'm telling you is a real thing. Now, what if your houses are 2 and 3 and 400,000? You don't even need that many deals. 20, 25 deals, boom, you're off to the races. You got $1 million a year coming in. It's powerful. And then over time, those mortgages pay down, and pay off, and you end up with free and clear properties. That's what I want to teach you, is that you can end up with a free and clear world. And this is my world. This is my world. I am a very, very blessed man. Thank you, God, for everything that I'm given on a daily basis, because it is an amazing business that has been created. And all we're doing is helping people. We're not hurting people. We're giving people the opportunity to have a better life than the one they've got. And by the way, our payments are equivalent to what rent would be. How cool is that? That people are buying properties from us at what they would be paying for rent. Now, how many of you believe you're going to get a better client that's going to take better care of the property and want to pay you because they're buying the house? And if their dog is in the backyard running around in circles, who cares? It's their house. You don't have to worry about it. If something leaks, it's not your problem. They're homeowners. They got a call. In fact, I'm going to turn you on to a warranty program where they're going to purchase a warranty, and that'll take care of the whole thing. So what if you already have a property and you need to fill it right now? Well, guess what? Major league paradigm shift number 3, don't send your clients to the bank. Actually be the bank for your clients and give them the opportunity that the banks aren't going to give them. You see, most of the customers we have, the banks aren't going to give them a loan just yet until they get good enough credit. Now imagine that that's what you're doing for people. Now I'll take this example again. We took this house, we sold that $30,000 cost property for $115,000 now. Now let's look at what happened. We got cash down, we got government grant money, we got our points. It has to change now because of Dodd-Frank. It's now 3 points. The amount financed, 12,000. All right, instead of 10.99, we now finance at 10.5% because of Dodd-Frank. You can finance that for 480 months. In this example, this is a real deal. This is a real deal that over time, that's right at 500,000. But look at your down payment. On top of that, that puts it over $500,000. So if you just saw what I just showed you, you just saw a $30,000 investment become $500,000. Welcome to my world, and I want to bring you into it. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing when you've got dependable, predictable monthly income coming in off of wonderful houses from wonderful people who are thrilled with what you're doing for them. And by the way, I'm going to create some privacy in your life too. Every one of these properties is going to be held in trust, and you're going to be a manager. So you're not even going to be the owner, you're going to be the manager to help eliminate challenges that you might have in your life and issues with people trying to take what you've got. You see, we're wanting to teach you about asset protection and estate planning. We're going to do that at Millionaire Jumpstart. See, this is Ronald and Erica James from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Now, what they did, they joined our program because they had 5 vacant properties. They had 5 vacant properties, and they got the house monster, and within one weekend, they sold all 5 properties. Now, they had bought these houses right. They had bought them cheap. They had fixed them up right. They had put them on the market, but they just couldn't get them sold. So what they did, they followed the house monster. House monster told them exactly what to do. Now, so even if you're selling properties too, just understand, that's all handled because they sold all 5 properties for $550,000 total sales price, 5 different customers, and they got $57,000 in down payment. So those of you who love notes, pay attention, baby, because this is good stuff. $4,800 actually monthly cash flow. And what they did, and just follow along now, here's the notes that they created out of that experience. Number one, $145,000. They got $13,800 down. They added back points, and look, all the way down, all of that down payment money they collected, plus they added all those points back to the loans. They got new note balances, total of $517,900, total payments $4,803. Now that's part of the story. The rest of the story is, imagine that you write those as 40-year notes. That's $2,306,321 income. Now, do you think that looks like a retirement plan? That's exactly what this is. Forget about Social Security, baby. We got a whole new way, baby. And here's what happens. If you've got a property that you currently own, you're going to auction off, not the price of the home, you're going to auction off the down payment. I teach you exactly how to do this in the House Monster for those of you who already have some real estate. Before you even have buyers, okay, we're going to do an auction that baby off. So if you're sitting with a vacant property right now, pay attention. This is exactly what you're going to do. Now, my goal for you is that you're going to end up with at least 20 free and clear property. 20 free and clear houses. And when I say houses, I'm saying small multifamily. Maybe you got some duplexes, triplexes. That's included in this too, because you can sell that to individuals and then let them get the rental income off of it after they pay you off. You can keep control of those things. I'll teach you how to do this. It's fantastic. And what happens is over time, as I like to say, legally, you're going to be receiving checks with your name on them. I say 20 free and clear, 20 Social Security checks coming in. Now imagine you're in Tahiti, you're enjoying yourself, and you got all these checks being deposited into your bank account, and you've got all this great income. Now this is your future. I'm telling you, because this is the life I live, and I've helped so many other people do exactly this in their real estate businesses. They love me for it because we've got the opportunity to create something unique. Now, there's 3 trainings that I'm going to include for you. First of all, there's a quick start guide. Sometimes people say, Lou, that's interesting, but I want to start making money now. So what I've done is created for you a little 7-page quick start guide to tell you exactly, go to page 82 and do this, go to page 84 and do that. Now, the next thing I'm going to give you is a webinar. It says Monday. No, it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to send you, when you purchase your license to use the House Monster tonight, then what we're going to do is actually send you tomorrow an implementation webinar. It's going to tell you exactly what page to go to, exactly what to do, because I want you to implement this. This is not the brick in the box program that says, good luck with that, figure it out on your own. No, 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 no. We're creating a relationship that's going to be a very long-term relationship. So my clients, I don't see them once and never see them again. I see them over and over and over again. They love what we do, and they just get on board and stay on board. That's what I want you to do. And then the third thing I'm going to do to help support you in learning this process and implementing it is that you're going to come to the 3-day training, the Millionaire Jumpstart training, May 5, 6, and 7. And again, if you can't make that, don't worry. I'll help you get to one of the trainings. It's not going to expire. We're going to make sure that you can get to a training. Now, there's a special webinar. It says Monday. Just forget that. I'm going to send it to you tomorrow. But in addition to that, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, I have a training to help you implement this system. I take an aspect of the House Monster and I teach it to you. And I focus on this House Monster system because that's the right place to get started. Find the buyer before you buy. Find the buyer and how much money they've got down. Find the buyer and determine what they can pay per month. Find the buyer and put them into credit restoration. Make money, make money, make money before you even sell them a property. How cool is that? That's our world. So again, forget about the Monday part and listen when you can, make money now, and follow the quick start training exactly the way I've got it for you. So the webinar is going to take you through this process tomorrow when I send it to you. Now, special House Monster members only training is that weekly training and blog so that you can ask any questions. Now, maybe you don't know me. You heard Scott's testimonial about me in the beginning, but maybe you don't know me. Well, I've been doing this for a while. I bought my first house, as we shared with you, when I was 19 years old. I've consistently bought and sold houses for over 30 years. In fact, now I'm in my 40th year. It's a blessing. Buying, selling, and holding property is just a phenomenal business. I can't wait to share this with you. We're actually in the business. We're one of those people that not only teach and train you, but we actually do what we say we do. And so we've got a full-blown operation. My wife, Janice, she is our property manager. We have an office manager. We have a collections agent. We have a leasing agent. We have a full-blown operation. Someday you'll be able to come to the international headquarters and see it for yourself. And we just have an amazing business there. And I want to teach you how to duplicate everything that we do, because there's no reason to do anything else, honestly. It's just really great money and really great business. I've done apartment complexes in my background. I've done a hotel. I built a hotel from the ground up. And I learned about this great thing called franchising. Holiday Inn, they said, you want a brand, you want operations, you want training, you want software, you want everything. And they said, here it is on a silver platter, because I didn't know ding about the hotel business. And all of a sudden, I'm in the hotel business. And they guided me every step of the way and supported me. And they charged for it. And I was happy to pay for it, because a year later, my competition in town said, you're killing us. We want to buy you out. And they did. They bought us out. We made about $500,000 profit. You see, it was all because of that thing there, that brand, that training, that software, that changed my life. That was what really made a difference. If I had just done my own thing, Lou's Motel, it would have been LOS, Lou's Motel. So we're not going to do that. I'm really going to take you step by step exactly how we do our business. Now, I've done condo conversions where I took apartments, converted them into condos. See, I've done all kinds of stuff, land development. or you take land and put it into lots, sell off the lots. Look at there, it's in trust, isn't it? That's exactly what I'm teaching you to do. Put your properties in trust and more. Does it make sense to follow someone with this kind of experience? Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that say one thing and do another. And you're so fortunate to have Scott on your team because he's a doer. He really does what he talks about. And that's exactly why he brought me on. He said, look, Lou, I don't want people that don't do what they say they do. So we're in the business. We do these things, and we've learned some amazing things that will change what you do in your business too. You see, we have pet fees, pet rent, extra person rent. We have we have maintenance taken care of by our clients. We've got move-in fees, not security deposit. I got a lot of stuff to teach you about how we do our business, and it's pretty amazing. So you're going to come to Millionaire Jumpstart. You're going to come to the 3-day, and I'm going to show you, and you're going to be shocked because Scott said, Lou, I want you to give my folks the very best deal that you possibly can, and let's work this out together. Let's really come up with something amazing for them, very affordable, so that every one of them can get on board. And that's exactly what we've done for you. You're going to be shocked. And that's what we do. So again, you're going to come to Jumpstart. Now, this is what you're going to learn at Jumpstart, which is how to create that target market for yourself. So we're going to support and help you implement with the quick start guide, with the webinar, with the face-to-face full day, 3-day training with me as your teacher. So we're going to work together to make sure that this thing is going to work for you. And it's a beautiful thing, baby. So the House Monster system is working. There's no bank needed. There's no holding costs. You're going to save on property taxes, insurance, interest, no fix up. As I was saying before, even your buyers will do some or all of the repairs. No tenants and no alligators eating up your profits. How cool is that, baby? So there's your real game. This is the House Monster. So act now, get the House Monster, and we're going to give you an amazing deal. Get the buyers before you buy, sell your houses faster, earn higher profits on every deal. By the way, the paperwork is included. So I'm very well known in America for having the best paperwork on the planet. And I'm very proud of it. And we have some great stuff. I have licensees in all 50 states and 16 foreign countries that use our system. Some of them buy here. Some of them take parts of my system and buy in the countries that they live in. Now, my special offer for those of you who join us today is going to be go to housemonster.com/Scott or call 1-800-578-8580. I'm giving you this in advance of telling you the price because I know what's about to happen. And I want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to take advantage of this because we're going to bring on 10 new clients today, 10 people that we can support and really help you to build your businesses. And I want to make sure that all of you who really want this can get an opportunity to do it. Scott just texted me and said, man, you're not going to, there's so many folks on board and they're so excited about this. So it includes a step-by-step explanation of how the program works, audio CD testimonials. Wouldn't you agree that testimonials are a powerful thing? We have testimonials of people that are already in the program, in homes, on the path to home ownership, raving about the program. You have the right to use those CDs or copy those and give those to potential clients to tell them more about the program and with testimonial of folks that are already in the program. You're going to get the Street Smart forms on what to do, your home buyer orientation presentation. Now that's a biggie right there. I'm going to give you a DVD of me in front of a room talking about the path to home ownership and giving people the opportunity to participate. So you're going to see from me and learn from me exactly how to do a presentation. I'm going to go you one better. You don't even have to be the one to do the presentation. I will give you permission to play that presentation in a live setting with me explaining the program to those folks. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to give you the 56-slide PowerPoint presentation that I use in that presentation. So we're going to give you that on your forms disc that I'm going to ship to you tomorrow. Now, everything, those of you who get on board tonight, we're going to ship your system out tomorrow. Now, remember, what you're buying tonight is a license to use. We're going to give you, as part of that, the materials. So you're going to get all the materials, all the marketing materials, all of it digitized so that you put it on your computer and you're able to see exactly what the material is, and then you can put your contact information, press print, and boom, you're off to the races. Or give it to the printer. The printer prints it for you. Now, I'm going to share with you all the materials so that you're going to have everything you need. Now, marketing templates for you to build your buyers list. Listen, guys, this is guaranteed. If you don't think this is the best investment you've ever made, we're going to do it for you. Now, the Grant Money Bucks template, that's going to be on there. All the forms to track your buyers and more. Everything is included. Now, we've even got print marketing. We've got field marketing. We've got online marketing. We've got live marketing or event marketing. And we've got the auction marketing. So everything that you're going to need to make this thing work, these come three up on a page. You've got your VIP program. I haven't even talked to you about that. Sometimes people come along and they don't have all the money just now. They can go into the House on Layaway program. You're going to love it. House on Layaway. Listen, every single lead that comes in, you've got an opportunity to serve every single lead. So I'm going to give you all the marketing materials to be able to do exactly that. Even the flyers, you're going to just simply put your contact information at the bottom. Boom, we're off to the races. So your rent to own program, your owner finance program, every postcard, the referral reward program, everything is included. So literally, you don't have to think. Your job is to implement. And that's what this is all about. So here's what we're doing for you today. And I'm just very excited that I can do this for you. Normally, the House Monster system is $14.97. We're going to give you an amazing, amazing opportunity tonight. Think about this. If you had 10 couples coming in and you could earn $200 off of each one of those couples, that'd be $2,000 in the next week. Makes your investment back the first week, and now you have qualified customers to make many, many thousands of dollars more. So literally, you could get your money, your investment back the first week. But we're going to do you better than that. Now think about this. No, truly, if you implement the way I'm teaching you to, no doubt about it, you can get your money back within a week. Now, the reasons to get this now, if I said, bring me $997 and I'll give you $1 million, how many of you would do that? Well, of course you would do that. That'd be silly not to, right? Exactly that is what I'm giving you, $1 million business. How do I know? Because I've got so many people already doing it. I'm not confused about this. In fact, you're going to meet some of them when you come to Jumpstart. I've got people that repeat this all the time because they pick up new things every time they come. So you will meet some of my clients that have already built multi-million-dollar businesses when you come to Jumpstart. I'm very proud of that. This is an authentic program. It's real. And we want to make sure that we transfer the information to you so you come to Jumpstart and you can see it for live and in person for yourself. Spend $997, get thousands, and that's just the start. This system is guaranteed. Listen to me. If you don't think this is the best investment you've ever made, I don't need your money. I want to give it back to you. What I get a kick out of, because we've got a great business, to be honest with you, I only spend about 4 hours a week on my business because the truth is I don't need to. I've got a team of folks that do all of that for me. What I get a charge out of is transferring that to other people and helping them to build their businesses just like the one I've got. And I just want to work with you and show you exactly how this thing works because it's a lot of fun. Now, here's what we're doing for you today. The Millionaire Jumpstart training for two. Normally, that would be $1,500, actually $1,495. But here's what I'm doing for you today. That normally would be $29.97. But the first 10 that take advantage of this now, we're going to give you the free Millionaire Jumpstart for two, only the $99 registration fee. That's all you have to pay. And you can do that whenever you register. You don't have to do that now. So what you're going to invest now is in the license to use the House Monster. We're going to ship you all the materials to be able to implement it right away. So that brings it down to $14.97. We're going to include 2 tickets for Jump Start. And here's what I'm going to do for you, that we're also going to give you an additional discount. Now, by bringing this down, let me just share with you one more thing, and that's the bonuses, baby. That's why I went ahead and gave you the housemonster.com/Scott, or call 1-800-578-8580, because I'm about to hit you with some good stuff, baby. If what I've shared with you so far isn't good enough, I got a lot more. So I'm going to give you the quick start guide. That's priceless. I'm going to give you the Credit Whiz done for you credit repair, provided by an A+ accredited by the Better Business Bureau nonprofit organization that does the credit restoration. You can either get a referral fee, or you can become an agent and actually get all of it. So either way, you're going to make money. You can refer them to me and I'll put them into the program, or you can put them directly into the program. And that's not all. Bonus number 3, special quick start House Monster webinar. We send you a link to the anytime replay to teach you how to do it. So that webinar that I'm sending you, you'll be able to rewind that, play, stop, back up, anything, so that you can keep on the implementation path. And by the way, other people, other team members, you can share that with them as well. So the scholarship grant, ticket to Lou's Millionaire Jumpstart training throughout the year, send you the choice of dates and locations, and a 3-day training with Lou as the only teacher. And then a second ticket for that is another bonus that I'm giving you. In addition to that, I'm giving the secrets of government grants revealed, over 600 pages, searchable online database of grant money programs you can turn your buyers onto, and you can use them for your own business as well. Secrets of private money financing. Everybody thinks I got to know about private money. Okay, good. Let me show you how I've raised millions of dollars with nice people that have IRAs and 401ks, and I've been able to invest their money and pay them wisely on their money. And they've earning a lot more than 0 to 1% than they could be earning at the bank, just letting it sit there. We put their money to work and we pay 4%. And they're thrilled because it's 4 times what they're currently earning, and even in some cases 8 times what they're currently earning. And so I'm going to teach you, and you're going to learn from my students who are actually telling you exactly what I do and what I taught them to do. I'm going to give you access to my $1 million home buyer presentation on DVD. I'm going to give you my private money ready to mail letters. I'm going to give you the do-it-yourself repair kit too. So if any of your people can't pay the $89 a month to join the credit restoration program, then you can just also serve them by giving them the do-it-yourself. The special report, how to build a list of hungry buyers willing to throw money at you. Isn't that cool? And that I'm going to include that in the House Monster as well. All 11 bonuses, $5,166 value. But not only that, I'm going to give you my special Rolodex of all the resources that I've discovered that's made it so easy for us to be in this business. We worked out special deals for our licensees to get it a lot cheaper, because there's a lot of us. In fact, we have now over 500 offices nationwide. I'm very proud to share that we have 500 certified affordable housing providers now across the country. And I want to show you how this works. So we're going to work together, and you're going to implement right away with the House Monster. And I'm going to give you a special deal that Scott worked out. He said, Lou, listen, he says, I just want my people to have this. And he says, let's just give them a big take action now discount, $500 off, so that they can get this right now. And I said, well, Scott, I'm going to do even better. They got to travel to come to Millionaire Jumpstart. So what I'm going to do is, when they travel, you can usually get a plane ticket for somewhere in the $300 range. So I'm going to just take off an additional travel discount of $300. So no kidding, the whole system, everything that we've covered tonight on being able to find the buyer before you buy it, have all the marketing materials to do it, only $697. It's ridiculous. but it's a great deal because we want to get you started. We want to give you the opportunity to implement right away and get off your assets and go get it. Here's what we're doing for you. housemonster.com/Scott, or call 1-800-578-8580. And we're going to take care of you and get you on board with the House Monster, get it in your hands. We're going to start with sending you the webinar right away and all the downloads, the information that we're going to provide to you. Make sure we get a good email address for you, and you're going to get the scholarship grant to come to the Millionaire Jumpstart. Again, if you can't come to the one in May, no problem. There'll be one in August. There'll be one later in the year as well. So we want to make sure that you're able to get there as quickly as possible. Obviously, the quicker you get there, the more you're going to be able to do. But you do not have to come to the 3-day training to start your House Monster. You can start the House Monster immediately and start making money immediately. And this means monetizing the front end. When those leads come in, you're going to start making money right away. That is the business model. Make money now before you buy a house, before you create notes, before you do anything. You got the opportunity to create a business model that actually creates cash flow. By the way, on a weekly basis, this money's coming in ongoingly, weekly, not even monthly. And that's the place that we're going. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And I hope you've enjoyed this tonight. It's been fun for me to share this with you. And I think that perhaps as you think about this and review our process, you're going to find that it's very wise to take that paradigm shift and go on the other side and say, hey, what if we had customers first? What if they were pre-qualified? What if we knew exactly what they could afford? What if it didn't matter how bad their credit was? They're going to pay you for the opportunity to have a better life than the one they've got. And you're the one bringing it to them, doing good while doing well. It is such a cool thing. By the way, everybody who gets on board tonight, I'm going to give you a special download on the book. When you come to the live training, I'm going to give you the actual book. But in advance of that, I'm going to give you a download version so you can go ahead and get started and start reading about some of the successful folks that are doing this across the country. And they're talking about their business locally and what a difference they are making there locally. Scott, do you have any questions for me?
Got a couple questions here. So that all that stuff is included in there for $697. Wow. Wow.
Well, you told me, said, Lou, come on.
I appreciate it. Yes. I agree totally. That's awesome. I would tell you this, guys. I can totally vouch for Lou's system. I know a lot of his students have met him over the last few years. Some of them are existing clients as well. Your paperwork is the best in the industry. I will tell you that right now. Definitely. You see the books behind you, Lou. I've got that on my desk here as well.
That's the whole enchilada, baby.
That is the whole enchilada. That's the full burrito, as we would call
it. It's a beautiful thing. I tell people, listen, this came from years and years of making mistakes, and years of a lot of expense with attorneys, with just a lot of things that I could have avoided if I only knew better. So we built it into our paperwork and built it into our system so we never have those problems again.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. You look at that, basically for the cost of 3 hours of legal bills, you get the whole system there, everybody. That's the huge thing. And Lou does amazing events as well. I mean, I've been to a couple of his events, very interactive, just really just provide a ton of content, a ton of really great stuff to really help you out and make your House Monster get rocking and rolling for you.
Yeah, baby. Now, of course, guys, if you go online, you will not see this price. I just need you to make you aware that the special discount is the /Scott. So if you're buying it at a later date, if you're not doing it now, listen, we want to help you get there, and that's the reason that we took the additional discount off, is to make sure that you're able to take advantage of this right now.
Mm-hmm. Leonard asked, are you going to have another webinar? Missed most of the webinar. The good thing, Leonard, is you've missed a ton. The good thing, it is recorded, and so I have recorded it. We will be shooting out the replay tomorrow, but don't stop here, because trust me, the $6.97 price that Lou is offering up is well worth that. All right. Ruth has.
And guys, just know this, that it's guaranteed. If you don't think this is the best investment you've ever made, when you see this with your own eyes, you're going to go, whoa, I can't believe I got such a deal. And we really wanted to make it a bargain for you, because Scott said, I've got a lot of folks, they're strapped, they want to make some money next week, and you're giving them an opportunity to make money right now. Let's just go for the gusto and give them the best possible deal. I appreciate that. You know, Scott is really looking out for your best interest, because I got other people that have never done that. They said, Lou, sell it for $14.97 and don't take a penny off of it.
Well, that's part of the reason we've got you on, Lou. Everybody knows that I'm very focused on and very protective of who I let on to these webinars and everything like that. And so you guys should all know that by now. If I bring somebody on, it's because, A, it's something I've either used, or it's a vendor we're using, or somebody who's a mastermind student is effective in using their product. And that's why we've got Lou on tonight.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, baby. It's beautiful.
Yeah, baby. It's a good thing. We have a lot of fun with that. Hey, listen, guys, if you're not expecting to have fun and be entertained when you come to the event.
Definitely entertaining. Amen to that. And you'll have a lot of fun, too.
That's for sure.
Definitely a lot of fun. Well, Lou, hey, I'm going to wrap it up here with you. We're going to get rock and rolling here, because the webinar time's about to end here in just a minute or two here for you. Yeah. So I want to say thank you for joining us. I know it's late there in Atlanta. Get you some sleep there, because I'm sure you're a little jet lagged, a little tired.
Oh, big time, baby.
Big time, baby. Big time, baby. Well, hey, thank you so much, Lou. Guys and gals, thank you for joining us here on Note 9 in America. And make sure you take advantage of Lou's offer. Once again, it's housemonster.com/Scott. And trust me, you want to get the best deal you've ever gotten. Here, now's the time to act for it, everybody. So on behalf of everybody here at We Close Notes, have a great evening. Enjoy your Monday night. Lou, thank you so much, brother. And we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.
You guys take care.
All right.